Hey everyone, if you're working with B4X, you know that getting stuck is just, well, it's part of the process. But what if you could find the answers you need in just a few seconds instead of a few hours? Well, today we're going to walk through all the essential help tools, both online and offline, that will make you a much faster, much more efficient programmer. So let's get right into it. We have all been there, right? You're in the zone, deep into a project, and bam, you hit a wall. It's an error you've never seen, or a concept that just isn't clicking. Knowing exactly where to turn in that moment is what separates a totally frustrating afternoon from a major breakthrough. So here's our game plan. First, we'll talk about the single most important mindset for solving pretty much any coding problem. Then, we'll get you to master the B4X forms search. After that, we'll dive into the offline help viewer, so you've got answers even when you don't have internet. And finally, we're going to tie it all together into a real pro-level workflow. All right, let's kick things off with the most important mindset you can have. And it's a really simple but incredibly powerful idea. Whatever problem you're running into, it's almost guaranteed that someone else has already had it, already asked about it, and already gotten a solution. And really, that's the whole secret. The B4X community is super active, which means there are years of questions and answers just sitting there in the archives, waiting for you. So before you even think about typing out a new question, just remember that the answer is probably just a couple of keywords away. Your first instinct should always be to search. Okay, so let's talk about that number one resource, the B4X forum. You know, it's so much more than a place to ask questions. It's this huge, searchable library of knowledge. Let's break down how to use it like a pro. Everything kicks off right here on the main forum page. Just look for that search box up in the top corner. That's mission control. All you gotta do is type in your keywords, maybe a class name, a piece of an error message, or a concept like scroll view, and just hit enter. And just like that, you get your results. The forum will pull up a list of every single thread where your keywords show up. Just scan the titles for anything that looks like it matches your problem, give it a click, and you can dive right into the full conversation. Okay, now pay attention, because this is the real secret sauce right here. This is how you go from getting okay results to getting great results. A general search can sometimes be a little noisy. So the most powerful thing you can do is use the All Products filter. This lets you zero in on the exact B4X platform you're using, whether that's B4A for Android, B4I for iOS, you name it. And just look at the difference. After we've filtered that same scroll view search for just B4I, the list is instantly laser focused. All that extra noise from the other platforms, it's just gone. This one simple click is the absolute fastest way to get from having a problem to finding a relevant solution. Searching online is awesome, for sure. But what about when you're on a plane or you just want a dedicated tool to browse through? Well, for that, we turn to offline documentation. And yeah, the B4X ecosystem has you covered there too. I want you to meet the B4X Help Viewer. This thing is a fantastic little app for browsing all the official documentation. Think of it like your own personal B4X encyclopedia right on your desktop, ready whenever you need it. Now, there is one key thing you need to know. A little gotcha. The standard B4X libraries, they work with the Help Viewer right out of the box. But those awesome community-made libraries, you know, the ones that end in .b4xlib, they don't actually include the necessary help files by default. So we've got to do one quick little step to get them working. But don't worry, there is a beautifully simple solution. It's a tiny utility called B4xlib2xml, written by Erel himself, and it solves this in like 2 seconds. You literally just drag and drop the B4xlib file onto this window, and poof, it generates the XML help file that the help viewer can read. It's that easy. Okay, so now that we know how to get all our documentation loaded up, let's take a quick tour of the B4X Help Viewer itself and see how this thing actually works. So check out the layout here. Over on the far left, that's where you choose your platform and your library. That choice then fills up the middle section with all the objects and methods. Then, once you click on one of those, the panel on the right springs to life with all the juicy details, descriptions, parameters, and best of all, actual code examples. And the workflow here is just super intuitive. You start at the top left, pick your platform, let's say B4A. Then you tell it if you want to see the standard built-in libraries or the extra ones you've downloaded. It's a simple 2-step process to drill down and get to the exact piece of documentation you're looking for. All right, so we've got the online forum and we've got the offline help viewer. How do we put these two amazing tools together into a professional workflow that guarantees we can find answers fast and, you know, be a good member of the community? It all comes down to a simple 3-step process. Step 1, always search the forum. Use your keywords, use those filters. Step 2, read the docs. Pop open to B4X Help Viewer and actually read up on the objects and methods you're using. And then, and only then, if you are still stuck, should you ask. And when you do, ask smart by posting in the correct subforum for your platform. All right, let's lock all this in with a quick checklist for success. 1, always search the forum first. 2, filter those results by platform. 3, use the B4X Help Viewer for your offline docs. 4, don't forget to generate those XML files for your custom libraries. And 5, if you still have to ask, be a great community citizen and post your question in the right forum. You know, by mastering these tools, you've just removed one of the biggest roadblocks in development. You're no longer just sitting around waiting for someone to give you an answer. You are now totally empowered to find it for yourself. So the only real question left is, what amazing thing are you going to build next?